everybody. Welcome back to the Malibash Media Spotlight. Today we have with us in the studio Michelle Eberhard. She is no stranger to the media world. She is CEO of the Ultimate Business Quest, which is one of a kind, new century virtual reality business game. And she's also been in the media world from modeling up to having her own agency. So Michelle, we're really excited to have you in the studio. I'm so happy to have you here and to be able to talk with you today. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad we were able to connect. This is great.
Yes, I'm glad that it all worked out and tech issues aside and all that good stuff. so let's see. We're gonna probably jump into the Ultimate Business Quest because that's something that is pretty cool. I've downloaded the app and everything, and I know I've talked to Dr. Fox a little bit about it, but you're a completely new perspective to the whole genre. And I wanted to, ask you some questions about like how that came about for you and what made you super into helping out with this project and or actually creating it and helping it grow. So that's I think I'm gonna start there. So let's start the Ultimate Business Quest and kind of like how that got started. And then we can
Oh,
circle around to the behind the scenes and all that good stuff.
it was a lot of fun. So my background started in like I was an executive for Fortune 500 companies when I was in my early 20s, and that's when I really started out. And I helped architect many actual tech, like their new technology for their new companies and that launch. And I really fell in love with technology at its large. Like I absolutely love architecting new apps, new softwares. Like I know code. I absolutely love it. I geek out on it. And when I left being an executive, I started my marketing agency, and then, but before then, I started actually consulting businesses. And during that time frame, I loved it, but it was so taxing. It was I couldn't reach everybody, and my max was 40 clients, and I had a waiting list. And I'm like, well, how? Like I can't be submerged because when I consult, I get so passionate about their business like it's my own. And then it's just it's kind of like this spiral because then I get too consumed in it, which I know is fantastic for the client, but not for me because I didn't have like any kind of balance or anything like that. And so as I was watching all of these entrepreneurs that were either starting a business or when they had started a business, they like there were so many things that could have been avoided at the very early beginning, or before they came a problem, they could have been avoided. And so I kind of came in and did a lot of cleanup and reorg for a lot of businesses. And so that's always kind of been in the core of me. And so I kind of put that on the shelf. I did my media agency. It went really well because it was more scalable than just consulting. And so had a large team. And then when Dr. Fox and I started to co-collaborate on our businesses, it was really interesting because he has a phenomenal academy. And he kept on saying, I need an app. I need an app. I'm like, yeah, but app for coaching and app for training, I mean, it's just really boring. Like I don't see anybody wanting that. So we had that discussion over and over and over again, and we grew his with my media agency, we grew his academy 857% during COVID. And then it was kind of like this, we had hit that peak and it only could go as far as what he could teach. He hit the same threshold as I did when I was consulting businesses because there's only so much time he has to be in front of a camera and start teaching these elite classes. I mean, these classes are like PhD level that will change your life, change your business. I mean, it is phenomenal. But we're like, okay, we finally we went to Costa Rica and we just laid low for a bit, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do when we get back? Because this is so time consuming and we're not hitting the masses, and it's such a big price point. It's a $30,000 price point for his courses. and to consult with me. I'm 30,000 as well a month in order to reorg a company. I'm like, the average business can't afford us, and I really got sick of that model. The buy my shit in the back of the room, and you go to this free seminar, or you go to a seminar and it costs you $1,500, and you get like itty bitty morsel that doesn't really help your business because they just talk at you the entire time, and you're like, can you give me some action items, please, that I can implement in my business right now? And you don't get it. And they're like, oh, if you want that action item, go in the back of the room and it's $30,000. And we're like, okay, we're so sick of being those type of people. Like, it's just getting frustrating for us. And so we just said, everybody out. We locked the doors. We dimmed the lights, and we literally laid on the floor and created this map. And the map was like, okay, let's just have fun, and we started drawing, like, first the oasis, and then it was the forest of fog, and then it was, we were going through this whole map, and it's like the pit of excuses, all that shit that you say. You're like, oh, I'm sick. You're like, bullshit, you're not sick, you just don't want to go to work. Like, just call it what it is. And so we were like, okay, well, let's walk through each one of these, and what does it mean in business, and what does it also mean in personal, and what does it also mean in relationship, so that we hit every single aspect. Because if your personal life is all effed up, your business will be effed up. It's just, I hate when people say, oh, your business, like, keep your business and personal separate. And it's like, yeah, name who has done that. Yeah, no, that's a total lie. Because if your body, or if you personally are sick, struggling, or you end up in the hospital, it affects your business, regardless of how many things you put in place. I know, I've done it. I've been through 11 surgeries, and it killed my businesses, like, really killed. And I had checks and balances everywhere. So we're doing this map, and we're getting all excited, and we start going through it as our own individual journey, as a couple, and then also as an actual business. So we took our business through this a journey and this map. See, does it really work? And it does. Like, it was phenomenal. And so I looked at it, I'm like, okay, let's do a beta. I'll code it. I'll do, kind of the chintzy LMS app that's just like video, 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 video. But how the videos are shot are way different, of not like this talking head, and I'm behind a screen, and that's all you're seeing or hearing. So we made it really fun in how we did them. So we mixed it between audios and videos, and we launched it, and it was a huge success. We got a 90% conversion rate on it.
Wow.
That app is only $36.99.
Yeah, it's
Super cheap,
amazing.
right? And then we're like, okay, now it's time to gamify it. Now it's time to actually put it in an app where you are seeing the journey, and it has the fun kind of game aspect, and it has the leaderboard, and we can do games and prizes and giveaways for everybody that downloads the app. And so then we changed the price, and we're launching literally next week. And it's going to be called Business Empire. And our first app is UBQ. So this one is Business Empire. And it is so much fun, because now it's $2.99 a month after a 3-day free trial. But it is it was so much fun to create. It was by far the funnest thing that I have done in business. And that is our 100% motto, is really making business fun again. Because that's why we got into business, is freedom and fun. If you're not having those, then what are you doing in business?
Right.
So that's like a long version of it, but that was our journey to create the Ultimate Business Quest.
That's amazing. And I think it's really cool that, I mean, it's really great to hear, the other side of it, the actual like coding side of it, and the technical side of it, and everything, and getting to see, that perspective. It's really interesting to me, anyways. And the fact that you were able to do that, I mean, that's amazing. I took, I think, one class in coding one time because I was doing graphic design, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do this for my job, because this wouldn't.
It is. It's
Yeah,
like
it's a
a
different
totally
world.
different language. It's monotonous and boring.
Mhm.
but it was because it was so much fun. That's why I got so geeked out about it. But if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I'll pay you, $40,000 to code blank," I'd be like, "Uh-uh,
Yeah.
no." like it is a beast in order to like
Yeah,
really
it
get
is
it
a beast.
done.
And you have to keep
Yeah,
fixing it and running it and making sure that there's no errors, and it's just like, oh, yeah, no.
yeah.
I
Now
applaud
we have a tech
I
team.
applaud those who have done it. I just yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, for our gamified one, we have a huge team behind us and we have one team lead and I only talk to the team lead and I direct the team lead and that is it. I'm like, that's going to be my extent of it. But
Wow.
I'm really excited to because we have two maps inside the app. And then our third one it will be released in about I want to say a month and that one is beyond a game. And there
Okay.
are so many fun things when that transpires of what what they can do with it and like what the prizes are. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome. So does it builds off the first app, correct? It's not
Oh yeah,
its own, like, entity, basically. It builds off of the first one. So you will wanna
exactly.
do the first one, the first app, which is the Ultimate Business Quest, and then go to the Ultimate Business Kingdom?
Oh no, we're scratching the one that you downloaded. We're going to take it off
Oh, okay.
um, at a certain time frame and not release it because we've taken all of that training and we've added to it
Got it.
and we've put it into more of a gamified version. So it's a lot more user friendly, easier to download, and then has the leaderboard and all the fun things because we didn't want to manage two because
Yeah,
they're way too difficult. And also, it's not what I want to put my stamp on because it's
right.
not. I'm like, even though I did it, I'm like, yeah, but our
Yeah.
team did a much better job.
Well, that's the true sign of a real artist and somebody who's really trying to, better the world is somebody who's just not happy with even the work that was really, really good. They're just like, "Yeah, I'm not happy with it anymore. I wanna move on and
Oh
keep
yeah.
improving," you know?
Absolutely, because that's
Yeah,
what business is all about is like you keep improving to hit the current audience and what they're actually looking for, wanting. Because even, I mean, we even got people saying, oh, well, $36 is a lot for an app. I'm like, you get like 70 hours of training where if you were to go to anybody, that would be
mhm,
an instant price point of 10 grand a month for a year
yeah,
at
yeah,
minimum. So that was also our change of like, hey, let's put it on a monthly, but we also wanted to hit the masses where there's so many businesses that can really benefit from this, and there's so many even people that are in employees that can benefit from it. We've had employees to go through it. We've had business owners.
mhm,
There was one guy that went through it just for his business, and he came out and did the most beautiful testimonial that was like I've always been like deathly afraid of airplanes. And he said he took the video from the actual airport and said, I'm finally getting on a plane. And he was like, it was not what I expected. He said that my business 3x'd. And on top of that, I was able to face my fears and now I'm getting on a plane. So it was really cool to see that. I'm like, that's what it's all about. I
yeah,
love hearing those where we can service, the millions. We don't have to be subject to, the 40 that I can do or the few
yeah.
hundred that Travis can do. So that's been a really like, that's the funnest part for me of like where the economy is currently. They need something that they can afford where they can have success and they can actually grow what they are choosing to grow in business.
Yeah, that's so true, and it's goes off of a little bit like Dr. Fox is talking about like the whole college side of things and how it's so expensive to go to college, and I know you guys' mindsets came together on that where, you want it to get out to more than just a few people, the lucky few. You want it to
Yeah.
get out to so many people and have I mean it's an amazing tool and I know it's super fun and interactive. I've taken the test online where you can
Yeah.
figure out what you are and I was I was a wizard. Yeah, that's what
Yeah. So makes sense. I'm like, yeah, you're a wizard. But that's what it makes
Yes.
it so fun. Because if you were going to say, if you're like, well, I was a red personality and I did blah, 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 it sounds so like confrontational as
Yes,
opposed to like, hey, you're a wizard, I'm a warrior, or I'm a jester. It makes it
exactly.
really fun. So that's actually going to be embedded inside our new app where we won't have it on the website, and you take it inside the app with a 3-day free trial. And then you can, but it looks so much funner. And then it puts your avatar as what you come out as.
Oh,
So
that's
if you
cool.
come out as a wizard, it'll put your little avatar as a wizard and you'll get that little stamp. So it makes it really fun.
That's amazing. That's super amazing. Like I said, props because I wouldn't be able to do the whole. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. You wouldn't want to buy an app that I made. But yeah, that's amazing. So with that, and then let's move to the agency side. Do you still have your own agency, or something that you're moving into the Ultimate Business Quest with?
Absolutely. So, what my agency still provides is SEO. That's what we're really huge in, PPC. But we're actually not going to do our own PPC, believe it or not. And it's not because like I don't believe in our team. It's more of I really want a different point of view and somebody that's not emotionally compromised, because I know we're emotionally compromised, and getting that third party feedback is really beneficial to really understand. Like, okay, you guys understand this market a lot better than we do. So we're actually using Chambers Media, which we got all of our new commercials, and they are hilarious, like so much fun. I can't wait until they're released because they are fun, like really really funny.
Oh,
The main guy that does all the Squatty Potty videos.
yeah.
So he's our top lead in our
That's
commercial.
awesome.
He
Oh,
is
that's funny.
so fun. Yeah, I'm like I didn't even know. So it was really funny. I had requested from Chambers Media. I was like, I really want the main guy from Squatty Potty. Like, I really, really, really want him as an actor. I didn't know I had, Travis and our other business partner, Aaron, since they're in that Hollywood world, to do like all the live interviews. So they did them. They saw all the live interviews and they chose who our main lead was. So we get on set and I'm like, his voice kind of sounds familiar. I didn't know it was him. I had no idea. Kid was different. Everything was different. And Travis was like, yeah, hey, that's the guy. I was like, oh, oops. Like, you did a great job. I wasn't able to tell. So it was really cool. So, but yes, we're still going with the SEO, and the SEO we're doing as like an internal. That's really where our bailiwick is that type of media agency, along with like if somebody asks if I want to be on like a magazine or in a magazine, or if Travis wants to be on stage, our agency is the one that actually books that out for us. So
Wow, that's really amazing. You got two businesses going on at the same. I mean, you got so many things going on. It's amazing. I mean, just your daily in and out of life, and so you finished competing recently, and you're competing in Mrs. Jet Set, which is really close to, I mean, you're in the top, so that's just so amazing, and you're doing so much, and it's really inspiring.
thank you.
And I mean, I've been pretty inspired by you, and I know our audience is as well. And it's just like, what are some things that you would like to share to other, women that are out there that uh, need that inspiration to, pursue their dreams and pursue maybe some fears that they, are worried about that they need to overcome, or just, something that they need to step out and start doing?
I love that. So, giving you an idea of I've always been terrified to be in a bikini, always since I was young. And that, I mean, that trauma, you talk about trauma and religious beliefs and parents, and just go down the list, right? And so when I was choosing to compete in bodybuilding and bikini, I mean, those are not bikinis, those are like way way up there, and they're like itty bitty, they're like itty bitty living space. And it was the very first time I went on stage in this bikini, I was shaking like a little chihuahua. I mean, everything was shaking. I was like, please don't pull a Miss Congeniality. I would really appreciate it if I didn't. I mean, I know it'd be memorable, but that's not how I want to, start this career.
Right.
And I remember like the only thing that kept on going, like circulating in my mind is fear is excitement without breathing.
Mm.
And just breathing in and really understanding that, hey, I chose this. What is there really to be afraid of? I mean, if you
Yeah.
boil it down, something that's your most intense fear, what is the worst that could happen? Well, other than like going down an alley, if that's your worst fear, or like getting into like a gunfight. I mean, those are different. Those are valid fears. But when it comes to like being on stages or, you know, um, doing a Facebook Go Live or, being on any kind of camera or starting a new business, it's, no, I don't have anything more than any of those other women have. The only thing that is different is my drive. If I say that I'm going to do it, I will be hell bent if I don't get it done and I'm not first. And I will take every single measure possible of, no, this is what I said I was going to do. I'm dedicated and I'm going to keep on going. And that's really where it boils down to, but also really balancing your life. And I hate the phrases of like, you need to find work-life balance. No, you can't find it. It's not under a rock. Like, like okay. So I've created a blueprint inside our app that really walks you through what is BPR. Do you even know what you spend your time on? Because the majority of us, especially women with children, because I'm a parent of five, and still doing the bodybuilding. Still, I mean, 3 companies just launched our other product line for all of our supplements, and then modeling and all the bodybuilding and everything that I'm juggling, so to speak. It's okay. Really look at your day of how much you're spending your time in. How much time are you spending in business? How much time are you spending in relationships? How much time are you spending on you personally? Because if you break down, everything else around you breaks down. It is not selfish for you to go take a freaking bubble bath if you choose to take a freaking bubble bath. Stop beating yourself up about it, because if you beat yourself up about, hey, I'm going to go get a massage because this mama needs a massage, then go get a massage. And if anybody gives you a crap about it, tell them to go F off. I mean, that is the biggest advice that I like just really want all these women to really hear, is that your self-care is not selfish. It's really something that you need for you. It is that's been my number one thing, is because if I put everybody before me, my body will break down. And I've proven it before on my other competition, where I was putting so many people before me and I wasn't balancing me out, and my body was really starting to struggle, and I caught it because I really started to really take ownership of how I was feeling. It's like, if I need to go take a nap or just close my eyes for 30 minutes, I'm going to do that. And if you really have that, it's called body rapport, but it's really feeling your body. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're in the gym or when you're doing something, are you 100% present of what you're doing? Because when I'm lifting, a few hundred pounds, if my brain is focused on work, I could get injured, and then I'm done, like completely done. So when you're doing something for you or even for your business, is staying 100% present and not letting your mind wander. And in the gym, that is so hard for people to do. So it's, you become the muscle that you're working out. You really micro focus on that one thing that you're trying to work out, so that everything else dissipates. And it helps with injuries not happening, but it also keeps you present in where you're currently at. Because if you keep on wondering of what to do that night, what checklist, I mean, you're really going to miss out on where you're currently at. So I know that's long-winded, but that's
No, I really appreciate that, because that's more women need to hear that. It's been interesting, because it's been funny trying to actually get women speakers onto this
oh
platform, like
wow.
just to it's extremely difficult, because there's multiple things that they're doing. They don't just have that uh, I mean, this isn't everybody, right? There's always generalities, but and there's always exceptions to the rules. But for the most part, they're working multiple jobs plus taking care of children, plus taking care of, if it's extracurricular activities for the kids or for their church or anything else out there that they're doing, maybe a hobby, a side business, and then they have to add this onto it along with, all the other things that they're doing. It's a lot. And then they're usually a
Mhm.
little bit more like hesitant because they're we're trained to be a little bit more, cautious about things just because
Yep.
you have to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you saying that because there is so much of that where women are afraid to take care of themselves because they get
Yep.
lost, and the little kids are always there, and and it's wonderful to have your children around you, and sometimes you need that break though, and you need to feel okay about it.
Yeah, and
So
it's teaching
amazing.
the kids about self-care.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
daughter now does her own spa night. She gets
That's
her own mask
amazing.
on. She puts her hair up. She, gets her bath salts. She puts on her own music, and she goes
Yeah.
and lays in the bath. I'm like, great. Are you doing spa night tonight? And she's like, yep, I'm doing spa night tonight. I'm like,
Oh
me
my god,
too.
that's so cute.
I'm like, I am too. Peace out. Like, have a good
Yeah.
night. I'm like,
What a great model. I mean, we don't wanna teach them to just wear themselves out, that's gotten nobody anywhere, right? It's yeah.
exactly. And it
Wow.
was, really, really taking that approach of the self care because when I was younger and growing up, my mom never put herself first, and
Mhm.
now, I mean, now her body is really failing a
Yeah.
lot. And I noticed when I was in my prior relationship, and it was expected for me to, even though I had three businesses at the time, I had two kids, and I couldn't work out. That's when I had so many surgeries. I
Mm.
had the 11 surgeries, and my body was crashing because it was expected that I had to be home at 5 p.m. I had to get dinner on the table. I had to make sure that the kids were, picked up, dropped off. I mean, it was just nonstop. And on top of that, it was like, well, you have these chores and these chores and these chores and these chores that need to be done. And really taking a step back, and now how I approach, all of those things is like, hey, find a cleaner for $100 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit of a break. Stop spending so much on freaking Starbucks and invest in you. And bath
Yep.
salts are easy. Typically, people have baths. If you don't have a bath, like, then put on meditation music and put some, essential oils on your face or something. There's
Yeah.
always something that you can do for self care where even if you are on a budget, because there have been times that, when I started out my businesses, I was on a budget and it was like, okay, but still self care is so important, especially when you've been on a surgery table and you have died 5 times in one night.
Mhm.
Life gets really, really, interesting at that point of,
Yeah.
wow, it really could be your last day. Do you really want to go out with you being so stressed out of every small little detail? If nothing's perfect, if, the food isn't right, cool. You know what I did? Is that if my kids complained, I literally put on YouTube of all the starving kids in Africa and I made them watch it. I'm like, you guys sit down and you let me know if you're going to complain about my healthy food. Didn't take long. They were crying and you're like, we can't watch anymore. I was like, well, are you
Yeah.
going to eat? Like, this is the real world. Like, that's
Yeah.
really what happens. So there's always different, tricks and tips, but it's really taking care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, letting them know that there's other things that are out there. My mom did that with us, and we learned pretty young that had things pretty good, and nothing's ever perfect. But compared to
Right.
what most people had, yeah, we had a really good life. So, yeah,
Right.
yep. Really quick before we jump off here, but tell us a little bit about Miss Jet Set and kind of like what that's really exciting, and you guys can definitely go and help vote for Michelle because she is in the top, and we want to keep her there. So please go and vote. I'm gonna pop this up at the bottom here for you guys to know where to go and vote at. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that and share a little
Yeah.
bit behind the scenes with that.
Yeah, so The motivation behind that was also exposure for our company, obviously, for the ultimate body quest of how you really can balance everything and still be in, either the modeling space or the bodybuilding space or whatever you're choosing. But the deep story for me is I'm a survivor of sex trafficking, and how that happened was I was invited to a modeling shoot, and I was brought into this brick and mortar. Everything looked legitimate, and yeah, did a whole photo shoot. And then that night, it was, I mean, your imagination could run wild of what happened. And it was at that point, I own you. You can't speak to anybody. I'll kill your family. I have all of your information. And I got myself out after a year of being in that, and I finally found the angles to get out. And for me, this Miss Jet Set is a beautiful way of me rewriting a story that not all modeling is bad. And that, this can be a beautiful recovery story, but also with all the proceeds that I am getting, because it's a $50,000 price point, I'm putting that into our 501c3. And for our 501c3, it helps individuals that have survived sex trafficking to give them the tools that they need, like our app, to get them into business and then to help fund their business. So that's really what the motivation and drive is for winning Miss Jet Set.
That's amazing. You're so inspiring. If you guys are sitting in the audience, you're not inspired, you're a monster. No, I'm joking.
Call it like it is.
Just saying how it is. But man, yes, please vote for Michelle and just like support her. She is absolutely amazing, a huge, huge role model. And I mean, you do so much. I'm just blown away. It's amazing. So I'm super thankful to have you here on the show with us for a little bit. And is there any last words of wisdom or anything you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
Well, if you have a goal or a dream or an aspiration, don't keep it as a dream. Bring it into reality. It's our company motto is, taking fantasy and bringing it into reality, and you can do that with your dreams as well.
It's amazing. That's awesome. Well, guys, definitely check out the app that will be coming out really soon. They already have the Ultimate Business app out, or Ultimate Business Quest out in Google and App Store for Apple. And also, please vote for Michelle and just support them on their journey, because they have so many really amazing things going on. So thank you so much, Michelle, again. And everybody, we will see you back here next time on Malibash Spotlight Media. Take care.